is Mike Gibbons. I started Buttons of Hope because last year in this country, 11 million people did a charity walk, raising over $1.7 billion. That's a lot of money, even nowadays. But what's interesting is the average fundraiser raised $157, with millions of people raising $75 or less. A recent survey of nonprofit leaders, they asked them what are the two most pressing needs for fundraising growth. Number one, they needed more individual fundraising tools for individuals. Number two, they saw the need for more participation on corporate teams. That is exactly what Buttons of Hope does. We work with individual fundraisers to help them share their story, making it easy for them to come to our website, create and make a button to wear in the event. It connects them with the cause. Buttons of Hope, these photo buttons are going to be the new fundraising tool. What makes Buttons of Hope different is that we will make, happily, one button, 6 buttons, 12 buttons. We also give back 10 to 20% of our top-end proceeds to the charity of the customer's choice. We did 2 test markets last year in the Charlotte area. Actually, one was charity walks, it was nationwide. We sold thousands of buttons to hundreds of people for charity walks. What was interesting was, on average, the average order was for 6 buttons at $5, a $30 transaction. Like Reggie said earlier, the margins are phenomenal on this product.
And we'll open it up now for questions from our panel.
So who's the customer?
The core customer for us would be a Susan Komen, American Cancer Society, Alzheimer's Association, anybody who has, does a charity walk where they're asking individuals to do fundraising. Our secondary market is for schools, where we provide fundraisers for, essentially for parents to buy buttons of their son or daughter who may be on the football team or in the band to wear to the events.
And why do you want to talk to me?
Going to get to that in the presentation. I've got a great idea for TALL-MART. Oh, sorry. Got a great idea for TALL-MART. It may surprise you.
So if I'm your customer and I don't want to use you, what do I do? What's my alternative?
If you don't want to use me to...
So if I don't want to use your buttons, what's my alternative?
Well, I don't anticipate that everybody of that 11 million is going to want to wear a button. But if you want to find a way to make it easier to fundraise, to ask your friends and your family and your coworkers to give you $20 towards the Susan Komen cause, it's a heck of a lot easier if you're wearing a button of the person that you're doing the walk for.
That assumes that every fundraiser then is just for an individual?
Excuse me?
That would assume that every fundraiser that you're doing then would be just an individual. Or did I miss something?
No, what it assumes is that when you decide to do, for example, Susan Komen breast cancer walk, you've probably got some reason in your head why you're doing that. Maybe you have a friend or a family member who's dealt with breast cancer. So you're going to, I believe that when you put a story to that, when you start to talk about people and do fundraising, which is a big business, by the way, for the nonprofits, we talked about $1.7 billion. So this is a way for you to engage more in the cause and probably raise a heck of a lot more money. Makes the cause personalized versus kind of somewhat anonymous sometimes. First of all, I don't think many people come into these meetings and ask you to think small, but that's what I'm going to ask you to do. And by the time I finish, I think I'm going to be able to show you how thinking small can bring you very big results. Last year, TALL-MART gave $296 million to charity. That's a very big number. Congratulations. 2 million associates serving 4,000 communities. What it's about is grassroots philanthropy. It's about a lot of individual efforts. That's a good thing. So how are we going to nurture that? How do we make that grass grow? In a study by nonprofit managers, the one I alluded to, the two top priorities for fundraising were provide individual participants with tools to raise more funds and increase corporate participation. I think these are two goals you would share. Our mission at Buttons of Hope is to help at the grassroots level, to help individuals raise more money for their cause. We make it easy to create and wear photo buttons that engage, motivate, and inspire people to raise more money. Simply put, people who wear our buttons raise more money. TALL-MART supports some pretty recognizable and amazing causes. Candidly, I had no idea about this until I started doing this presentation. I suspect most of your customers and many of your associates don't know that either. We need to make TALL-MART's giving part of your brand identification. Most organizations are still working with an old set of fundraising tools. Direct mail, phone solicitations, ribbons, bracelets, and yes, even pink Scrabble games. These tools do get the word out, but they do little to engage, motivate, or inspire fundraisers or donors. Candidly, the old tools are benign, anonymous, and increasingly invisible. We are introducing a new and powerful set of fundraising tools, custom photo buttons to put a face on your cause. Imagine thousands of TALL-MART associates choosing personalized buttons and proudly wearing them right next to their iconic name tags. Pictures of Special Olympians, pictures of college graduates, yes, even polar bears. Wear a button, start a conversation. Where's that thing? Today I'm here to unveil My TALL-MART Cause Is, an innovative approach to corporate fundraising. I can see the headlines now in the Wall Street Journal. TALL-MART, putting a face on corporate giving. Using what we've learned at organizations like Susan Komen and the American Cancer Society, we're going to help you personalize these causes. So what is TALL-MART Cause? It's a program designed, again, to engage your employees. Photo buttons create a visceral impact. They are a tangible expression of the emotion we feel. And that serves to personalize a cause. Unlike colored ribbons or plastic wristbands, when you wear a photo button, people ask about the button, giving you the opportunity to share your story. So how is this going to work for TALL-MART? I propose we set up a pilot program. TALL-MART associates would have two options. One, they could upload their own photo and create their own button. Or they could choose a photo from one of the My TALL-MART Cause galleries that we're going to set up on our website on your behalf. Excuse I have the incorrect logo up there. It should be TALL-MART. We will set up branded TALL-MART Cause galleries. We can set up galleries for you for your Charlotte stores. We can set them up for Special Olympics. We could set it up for missing children. Whatever it is, however you want to tailor that so that your employees have an easy way to make buttons. Pricing. My suggestion? I suggest TALL-MART cover the cost of one button per associate. Additional buttons can be purchased for $3 with a portion going to the cause. With 2 million associates worldwide, that's only a $2 million investment. How's my time? 5 minutes? Okay. Now, if you'll let me, I'm going to talk a little bit about Buttons of Hope in general. This is not quite specific to the program we just discussed. The thing that makes us unique is you can go on and design your own custom photo button. Oh, sorry.
The mic.
Design your own custom photo button. We have a unique capability to have curved text on our buttons, and you have a couple of samples. And you can see when you're dealing with a face, you don't want the words going across somebody's nose. We're the only company on the internet that can do that. No minimum, you can create a single button, or do 5. Email to a friend. We think this can go viral. The price is $5. If you buy 1 to 8 buttons, it's $5. This is on my normal website. $1 from each button goes to charity. Larger quantities, we reduce the price. I talked about these test markets. We were really surprised to find that our average order, even though we offered 1 button, our average order was 6 buttons. And we're very excited to see that the transaction then is $30, and the profit margin is in the 70% range. I think Reggie alluded to the profit margins in online photography. So, the interesting other one is school fundraisers. This is a great opportunity for us, a little more on the commercial side. We did a test market this year with 6 fall sports at Charlotte Catholic High School: lacrosse, football, cheerleading, a couple other things. We sold 287 buttons to parents. We made $1,148. The school made $1,722. I will just remind you, there are 529 high schools in North Carolina. If we could replicate this at each one, that would be revenue of $607,000 to Buttons of Hope and $910,000 to the schools, which, if you read the papers, are pretty well strapped for innovative ways to raise money. Oh, by the way, there's 29,000 high schools in the country. Manufacturing. It's not so hard. A button machine about the size of this can make 1,000 buttons an hour. It costs $8,000. Right now, the button machine I have is about that big, and it's a lot of this. I can make about 200 an hour, and I make them. We believe we can get, with one person, with that machine, we can make 250 buttons an hour. That accounts for some back-end work that that person would do as well. So I've taken 1,000 and taken it down to 250. Very conservative. We can generate 530,000 buttons a year. Profitability. We think going forward that our average price is going to be about $3. That's where we think the sweet spot is. We can't go there yet because I can't make them that cheap, but I'll be able to when we have some capital. Direct button costs about 83 cents. Don't tell my customers that, they'll kill me, but it's the truth. Projected average price, and if we say that using the same kind of transaction of around 30 bucks, we're looking, I say eight buttons a transaction. You can see that on every transaction we make a significant impact. So again, think small, but act big. I think you can see the difference that thinking small can make to both a corporation and to the causes you serve. How much time?
You got 2 minutes.
Okay.
Left.
I'm going to do something on top of this.
So what happens if somebody goes and buys a machine and starts printing their own buttons?
Can I hold that? Can I hold that question?
I may not be here in 2 minutes. But
Okay. So what? Go ahead. No,
that's
it's
all right.
fine.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What is your competitive strategy? Because the barrier to entry seems very low.
Well, I think the barrier to entry is actually really difficult because there's a lot of pieces to this. We've got a very innovative website that we've developed with some technology that I frankly don't understand that allows people to upload a photograph, crop it, move it around, add curved text. And then the fact that we're going to be able to sell 1 button to you and 3 buttons to you and 4 buttons to you. There's a lot of button companies we compete with. They want to sell Obama's campaign 50,000 buttons of the same button. Very few, there are no companies that want to sell 50,000 buttons to 50,000 people. That's what I want to do. The secret is, at $3 a shot, that's a very profitable business.
Okay, Michael, but we're a very large company, and so if we decide to go with you, how are you possibly going to scale up to the 2 million employees that we have who are all going to be buying buttons from you?
Well, I'm in a little bit of a conundrum here because I'm making a sales pitch to you. Mm-hmm. I'm not making an investor pitch. Now, there's a potential you could invest in my company, which would allow me to do that. But I need to make another presentation. I think Reggie's still in the room. I'm thinking about talking to him. But that's a good point. I mean, this is something I'm asked to make a presentation about what we can eventually do, but we would need some capital. But then we can absolutely do that.
What happens if one of our associates adopts a cause that's contrary to our corporate mission and they show up for work wearing one of your buttons? What am I going to do?
It's a good thing. 2 things about that. One, I've had some buttons come across that I didn't think were appropriate. They weren't really inappropriate, but where I am in the integrity business, they were inappropriate enough. So we filter that out. The other thing, what's nice about what we can do here is we can We can hold it to the causes. You have so many causes if we go back. You got to be able to find somebody that is affected by one of those causes. So we can limit it to the causes that you support. It wouldn't be everybody just doing their own cause, you know. Am I still in? Okay. 1 minute left. I just want to take just a little time and tell you what Buds Hove is really about, what it means to me. When I think of the potential of this business, I think of the stories behind the button. Millions of stories like Brandon Elam, whose 16-year-old died from cancer, is one story. Stories like Ellie Potvin, who is a young girl that's battling cancer in Ballantyne right now. I don't even know how to pronounce the name of the cancer. But that's something that we've made many, many buttons of Ellie. And just this week, I'm sure if anybody's in Charlotte, you know about the tragic accident where Cindy and Mackie her daughter Mackie were killed on Highway 49. The way this works is I had a friend of mine who knows her. She called me and asked me if I would make some buttons for the memorial service on Sunday. So I'm making as many as I can, probably 50, maybe 100 buttons, and I'm going to donate those. My point is, for each of these stories, there are tens, hundreds, and thousands of people that want to connect. The buttons are a tangible way to do it. And just the last thing I'll leave you with, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.